Hello Virgo, Virgo rising and Virgo moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for November 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you out there, remember these horoscopes talk about the big sweeping changes in background energies that go on throughout the month. And I won't be putting anything in these horoscopes that lasts for less than 2 weeks. So it's important to keep that in mind. And if you are looking for shorter term aspects, flavor of the week, flavor of the day kind of things, check out your weekly horoscopes. Those are always exclusively astrology for the first half, so there's something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on this month anyway? Well, all month we've got Mars, planet of action, energy, and conviction, moving through Libra, your second house of earned income and employment. And you know what I always say whenever Mars is in a major financial house, such as house number 2 or house number 10, we have the opportunity for some massive earning power due to overtime. Okay, when Mars brings funds through labor, this is a month where there's going to be a lot of opportunities for a lot of Virgos out there to be packing in extra hours, packing in extra projects. Again, getting not only that overtime pay, but possibly even an incentive for, projects and assignments you could be taking home with yourself. This applies to those who work a regular, I guess you could say, salary job, or, even those of you who work from home. But all the while, that Mars energy is bringing in more and more opportunities for funding yourself and getting ahead. And that's what we like to see. On the 4th, we've got a full moon in Taurus in your excuse me, 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, broadcasting, as well as culture and your spiritual practice. And with a full moon in the 9th house, a lot of Virgo people may be finding an opportunity to wrap up an outstanding priority or obligation to one of these areas. If there has been something holding up the works when it comes to, say, an application to get into a school program, or maybe you're trying to wrap up a legal discussion, or you're trying to, maybe bring an end to some kind of commitment to you that you have to maybe a project that you're working on online. This is a culminating energy. This can also be a wonderful time for those of you trying to put something out there, finally bring something to its debut. If you're trying to launch a major web campaign, advertise for yourself, or maybe even launch an ad campaign for yourself or your business, this full moon's going to be really bringing you a lot of, support. One of the things I would also say with this full moon, though, is that, again, this could bring an end, but an end that, that a punctuation that you do want to have happen. If there's something that you've been wrapped up in, again, whether it comes to school, a government or legal situation that you're a part of, or possibly even a commitment that you may feel you have to a community, such as a church or a focus group or something like that, your ticket to freedom will come between the 4th and the 18th of the month. On the 5th of the month, we've got Mercury, planet of communication, haste, and acceleration, moving into your 4th house of home and family, where he will be all the way through the end of the month. And with Mercury in the 4th house, you can actually count on any kind of processes that you have been trying to get off the ground when it comes to maybe changing things throughout your home, working on maybe fixing up either some financial issues or even some structural issues in the home to start accelerating as well. This is a great time for those of you who are house hunting. A lot of Virgos are going to be kind of getting on the move, I think, over the next 2 months. Those of you who've been looking for a new place to live, whether you're trying to relocate locally or simply make a big old fancy move, even at long distances. We're still doing this within that full moon window. Mercury in the 4th house of home and family may also reopen a line of communication with somebody that you have not spoken to in some time. On the 7th of the month, we do have Venus, planet of love, luck, and harmony, moving into Scorpio, into your 3rd house of communications, pacts, and promises. And with Venus in the 3rd house, this is a month where you are going to be noticing you're a lot more popular. Whenever Venus is in either houses 3 or houses 6, we tend to notice that when it comes to the way we're interacting with our peers, conducting negotiations, as well as doing anything where we're kind of putting stuff out there or gathering support for ourselves, we have way more ready and willing volunteers. Venus in the third house gives us the gift of gab as well if we're looking to do any kind of public speaking or, again, even negotiate some kind of contract. Especially if you're independent contractors, this is especially nice for a lot of you. We've also got Mars in that earned income sector. You could be drumming in a lot of good opportunities for yourself. Venus in the third house can also bring harmony and love to a situation that may have been tense or a bit difficult with a peer or a colleague, or possibly even with a family member of your same generation. We tend to see siblings and cousins ruled by the third house. So if things have been a bit iffy there, or there maybe been some controversies or some distancing going on, this is going to bring an opportunity to make the peace from the 7th onward throughout the month. On the 18th, we've got a new moon in this area in the third house of communications, pacts, and promises, and it does look like a new contract or perhaps some kind of new signed agreement is going to be given its blessing this month. Again, this could actually be a side project or something related to you trying to boost your career profile, boost your, I guess you could say, your skill set. Sometimes when we see the new moon in the third house of communications, our skill set is getting improved by some kind of new form of training or some kind of new certification opportunity that's going to, you know, again, give your resume, I guess you could say, that upgrade if you are looking for that upgrade, whether it's an upgrade in terms of desirability for hire or a desirability just when it comes to getting, you know, more incentive when it comes to working with people, more incentive for promotions. Again, we're kind of increasing your value with this new moon. This new moon itself can also bring opportunities for travel, and because it will come into close proximity with a couple of other planets, you know, especially sextiling Chiron in your 7th house of partnerships, there may even be an opportunity for love to come from this new moon in the last 2 weeks of the month during some kind of travel that you are doing, whether it's you're meeting somebody to long distance while you're traveling or while they are traveling. So be prepared to look a little bit beyond your commute bubble if you're thinking about going out and looking for love. There may be something drawn in there. On the 21st of the month, we've got a bigger shift. We've got the sun moving into your 4th house of home and family. And wherever the sun goes, we're bringing a lot of, I guess you could say, revitalizing energy, a lot of healing energy, and a lot of upgrade, again, improvements. It's all about upgrades and improvements for a lot of Virgo people this week, you know, whether it's, you know, an upgrade or an improvement to the quality of life that you and your partner have in your home, or perhaps actually bringing more value into the home front itself. The sun in the 4th house is a time as well where we're seeing a lot more activity going on with our relationships with family members and our closest friends. The sun can actually, again, work a lot on patching up and also, you know, strengthening some ties that have gotten a bit loose. Some wires that may have gotten frayed, some cords of attachment that aren't necessarily meant to get cut. And what I like about this is the sun is here all the way up until about the 23rd of December. So we're bringing in a lot of attention, a lot of good focus there. Again, we have another great business aspect with this energy. The sun in the 4th especially works well for those of you who do work from home or have a home-based business. And we also tend to see with the sun here an opportunity for people who don't even have a means of making money, even passively, to start actually generating that during this cycle. Finally, at the end of the month, we've got Neptune turning direct in Pisces in your 7th house of partnerships, your closest one-on-one relationships. That's your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, you know, roommate, all of that. And Neptune's been retrograde for almost 6 months, believe it or not. And when Neptune's retrograde, it's honestly not a bad thing. All outer planets have their good and their bad when they're direct and when they're retrograde. And a good astrologer is going to acknowledge all of them, not just, you know, cherry pick. And when we have Neptune retrograde, usually what happens is that we can become a bit more scrutinizing, to say the least. We may find that, you know, when it comes to these relationships, it's harder for us to connect to people because we see the truth of everything. We see so much truth that it's hard to even give benefit of the doubt. And it's important to pay attention to where we want to make sure that optics are not more important than intention. And so a lot of Virgos may have been doing, you know, finding out a lot of secrets about a partner, or, you know, perhaps actually getting a lot of information sharing going on between them and close potential partners in a good way. but sometimes there's such a thing as information overload, and you know, it may have been putting some strain, especially within the last 30 days, on a relationship that you are in with that information overload. People need to catch their breath, you know, and you know, we're supposed to be partners and lovers and friends. We're not each other's therapists. And with Neptune turning direct, we're taking a little bit of that strain off, which is really, really good. But be careful with Neptune direct as well, because sometimes what can happen is we can become a little bit too fanciful, and we may actually get ourselves a little bit head over heels in situations prematurely, or let too many things go, as opposed to Neptune retrograde, where we don't let anything go at all. So there's an opportunity to bring more of that love and more of that pleasurable enjoyment back into partnerships, and to also enjoy a bit of that fancy-free type of energy, but be careful not to get too hooked on it at the same time. Neptune, direct and retrograde, it's still always a lesson in moderation, but we do have more of that sweetness and romance coming nonetheless. So that is your horoscope, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.